So I have a driver here which I think is going to be one of the longest released this year, if not ever. But I've also got a feeling that the vast majority of golfers should probably stay away. So this is the TSi4 Driver from Titleist, and it is one of the simplest, most brutal designs of a driver which I have seen in quite a long time. Because this driver is designed to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to aggressively reduce backspin, and that's Titleist words, not mine. So as with all drivers I review, I will be subjecting the TSi4 to my rigorous 50-star standard test to see how it ranks against some of the other drivers that I have been testing this year. And of course, I will also be putting it up onto the power ranking, bludgeoning the living life out of this thing to see what the furthest possible drive is that I can hit. So make sure you stay tuned for those scores. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow me on my other social media as well, which is all linked in the description below. And if you are liking what you see here, please drop a like on this video. Now, Titleist currently have 4 drivers in their lineup. You've got the TSi1, which is just about super forgiveness. The TSi2, which is aimed at maybe a slightly better player who wants a Titleist driver, but isn't quite in the lower handicap categories. The TSi3, which is definitely aimed at better players. And then the TSi4, which is the new brutal, uncompromising head of the family. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this setup, so 4 drivers seems a little bit excessive to me, but if it gives fitters all the tools that they need to correctly get their customer into the right driver, then I suppose that's what's most important, even if those customers might be confused as to why there are 4 drivers to choose from. The TSi4 comes in at £499 recommended retail, or $550. The TSi4 also has a more compacted head shape, so it's only 430cc. And if you go to the other end of the family, so the TSi1, that's at 460cc. A general rule to follow: the bigger the club head, the more forgiving it's going to be. As well as having a smaller club head, what Titleist have done is they've pushed this weight here so far forward in the club head. I mean, it's almost touching the club face. And with these alterations, what Titleist says is that this club head is very fast, and it's also super low spinning, as well as being the most workable driver that Titleist have. So if you are into fading and drawing, the smaller club head should allow you to get a little bit more of that shape. It also comes in an 8-degree head, which I really like. The Titleist shaft sleeve, I'm not the biggest fan of it, to be honest. It only allows an alteration of a minus 0.75 degrees, so this is down at 7.25 degrees. I've got a Tour X Stiff Tensai Blue at 60 grams to begin with, but for the power ranking, I might switch that up just a little bit. So let's get bashing drivers and subjecting this to the 50-star test. Now, if you are a keen watcher of the channel, you might actually recognize this driver. I used it in a recent Whoop video and achieved my fastest swing speed and ball speed ever. So I do have a bit of experience of what this is like. I have to say, it does look like very sexy. That wasn't that sexy out the toe, but in quite a high maintenance way. Like, you know, getting into a relationship with this, you're gonna have to put the time in. Like, you're not gonna be able to skip the occasional meal. You're gonna have to be quite focused on this relationship. And when it does leave you because you're not good enough for it, it's gonna take the dog. Now, right, that there, right there. So I've hit that a little bit high, a little bit out the toe. That had 647 revs of backspin. Like, that came out almost rolling on the ground. It was that low spin. But what this means is that as I start to put more and more power into it, as I start to strike the ball better, as you can see here, it's still gonna have a little backspin, but if I can get the launch, it's just gonna bomb. It's gonna be amazing. Kind of oddly straight as well, really. You can just see when it hits the ground, it's just barreling on forever. Right. That was a better swing. Crikey, that was a better swing. Look at that bad boy go. Woo! Now we are talking. I don't know why, whenever I get excited, I always like revert like this weird American accent. So I'm going to hit quite a few more. I'm going to get loads of data on this club, adding to the data that I've already got from previous tests, and I will rejoin you on the 18th at Pebble Beach. So the accuracy test is pretty simple. 5 shots, so 5 points and stars available. And I've just got to hit the fairway here at the 18th at Pebble Beach. Every time I hit the fairway, I get that point. So this is more about accuracy than distance. My swing speed has to be over 110 miles an hour though, just so I don't steer it. And it's got to hit the short stuff. That was actually probably one of the worst strikes that I've ever put on a driver. And that's in the drink. That was horrendous. I don't know why, I'm just hitting this driver so much out of the toe. Yeah, potentially I'm dropping it a little bit inside and pushing it out. Not very good though, come on. And that was me on maximum fade mode there. Well, first fairway, 1 out of 3, 115 miles an hour club head speed, that was okay. Come on, 2 more of those. Damn, Jesus Christ. That's actually in someone's garden. I've actually just hit it in someone's garden. Right, that was a centered strike. That was all right, and it was a bit guidey, but 2 out of 5. Okay, on to the 18th and say Andrews for a distance test. So distance test is pretty simple. It's got to carry over 300 yards to score a point. Swing speed's got to be over 115 miles an hour. On the 18th here at St Andrews, the widest fairway in golf. To be honest, it's the carry distance which I'm a little bit worried about, especially if I start to creep over to the toe. I mean, my ball striking's been absolutely dire. And let's face it, has that got much to do with the club? Probably not. Right, that was a decent swing, that. Go on, carry, carry, carry over that 300 mark. Sailing it. Oh, I've hit the green. You know what? All I did there is just relax and try to put a decent swing on it. 120, Peter, state the obvious Finch there. I just tried to put a good swing on it. Carry, carry. Nah, not a great strike. A little bit high on the face. 874 revs of backspin off the top of the face. That is so low. Whew, it's hand solo. Oh, that felt great. That felt good. That was, I think, my most complete swing. 1800 revs of backspin out the center of the face. Now that is perfect. It's just taking me a long time to get that shot. No, that was a toey one. Oh no, don't tell me I missed the bloody fairway. It's over 300 and it's just stayed in bounds. Wow, that BMW 5 Series was bricking itself over there. Okay, last one. 4 out of 5 would be a good return. Probably set that line a little bit more towards the middle of the green. Over 300 though, it's 4 out of 5. Solid actually. That's 1700 revs of backspin. So, I mean, when I'm catching this towards the center of the club face, so good. So good. But let's go through those scores before we do the power ranking. So scores on the doors for the TSi4. So for me, looks 5 out of 5. Looks are subjective, but that size of club head, that face slightly feeling like it's open out to the right, just the simplicity of it, I absolutely loved. Sound for me, 4 out of 5, especially when it was struck out the middle. Obviously you can say that about most drivers, but the sound of it, yeah, was nice. It was a little bit more metallic than maybe the Sim 2, which I absolutely love the sound of. Feel, 4 out of 5. Again, when it was struck out the center, absolutely amazing. I think Titleist drivers, certainly down the years, when you strike them well, they feel probably as good as any driver ever made. Features and customization, only 2 out of 5. The shaft sleeve does have a few options, but the club head itself is just what it is. It's a low spinner, like you can't really adjust anything within the club head. There's no sliding weights or anything like that. X Factor, 2 out of 5 for me. Again, it's not an original driver in the sense that there was a TS4 driver brought out. And also it's very simple. You're buying this driver because you want super low spin. That is the reason it's going to be in the bag. So it doesn't leave much guesswork. It is what it is. Accuracy, 2 out of 5. Again, that's subjective to me. Distance, 4 out of 5, apart from almost killing a BMW. The fly was 4 out of 5 for me, again, when struck well. When it was out the toe, which we'll get onto in a minute, obviously not ideal. Forgiveness, 1 out of 5. If you're going to get this club, let's make sure you're a good ball striker. I'm a decent ball striker. I didn't have my best stuff there to begin with. And especially when it was coming out the toe, there was nothing there. Like that on a golf course would be not great for many golfers. But if you can control the strike, wow, I mean, amazing. So value for money, I'm going to give this 3 out of 5. Again, it's just a standard price at the moment for most premium drivers. So yeah, it's a middle of the rank score. And that gives the TSi4 a grand total of... So it's a great driver, does exactly what it says on the tin. I really don't think this is going to be the best club for the vast majority of golfers who watch these videos. If you are someone who struggles to keep the spin down, and you are someone who strikes the ball consistently well, this could be a game changer. But for most people, it's going to be tough. Okay, on to the power ranking. So the power ranking is brutally simplistic. I have 10 shots to try and smash this as hard as I physically can, but I'm actually going to be making a change to this golf club. So what I'm doing here is I'm sticking in a 65 gram Tensai white shaft. Same setting on the club head, but this is a slightly lower spinning shaft. Oh God, this could be very interesting. It doesn't have to hit the fairway, but down the right-hand side of the fairway here, on the 3rd hole at Oakmont, it's got a little speed trap. So it can finish anywhere, but obviously some of the bounces on the fairway does have an advantage. Oh, well, that is a huge slice to begin with. Like the slices and then the slices. I mean, I've just managed to get 364 revs of backspin out of this driver. Oh. Go on then. Go on then. All right, okay. I actually struck that. This is going to sound a little bit stupid, but I actually struck that maybe a bit too well. Slightly towards the center, a little bit out of the heel, so we just spun up a bit. That shot, slightly out of the toe. Whew. Right, come on. Go on. Go on, get the hook ball. Oh man. You know what? I'm going to change this shaft back. Maybe it is just a feel thing, a weight thing. It doesn't feel anywhere near as strong and as powerful. Okay, back to the Tensai Blue. 5 grams lighter, same stiffness there. Oh man, again. Right, I've got the low spinning bit back. Man, it's just so tough. I think I've found my match here. Man, that drive on the fairway. Oh, it's so frustrating because the whole point of the power ranking is everything you can give it on that day. And this might actually have to be a proper revisit because I know this drive has so much more to give. Only 2 shots remaining though. Oh no, that would have been amazing if I'd have got that draw. Oh my word, carry 322. Man, all right, done. This drive is beating me. It's beat me, absolutely beat me. So it's gonna sound quite silly this, but I feel like I owe the driver a bit of an apology. My swing, coupled with the lack of forgiveness in that club head, meant that I think there's a lot there left in the tank, but I'm knackered. So the furthest drive I hit there was carry 320 and total at 343, which actually puts it in 3rd place. I mean, looking at some of the numbers there, so ball speed at 178, that's decent. Swing speed at 125, and that's less speed than both of the drivers above it. So my swing as well just wasn't quite there today. However, TSi4, into third. Right guys, we are done. I think everything in there really just played out to the fact that this driver, man, it's hard to hit. And if you're a baller, if you strike it, you know, good luck to you. For me, I don't think I'll be using that. All right, guys, huge thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow me on my other social media platforms, which are all linked in the description below. Let me know what you think about the TSi4 Driver from what you've seen and if you've tested it out before. And we'll see you down here next time.